Then we can start. So this is the workshop for the EGC 2024 that would be in France, Toulouse. And yeah, this is workshop. I'm Andrii Kravets, and I will be giving this workshop to you. I'm one down professional from EGF, also current European champion. So I will for sure go to Toulouse next year because I mean I need to defend the title. I don't know. I feel like this is a challenge to me, so I'm really trying to improve. But for you, this would be some small lecture, what to think and how to, let's say, how to play, how to think, what to do when there is big areas like moyos, what to do, what is the plan, basically, or algorithm, how to solve it. Uh, Usually, there is a chat. You can just easily just write something, and yeah, I will for sure answer your questions. So, for example, I will try to tell something if you have a question. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 minutes afterwards, not just in live, because I will be focusing on board, but I would for sure try to answer all the questions. We can start. So I will go to positions. And hi everyone. Yes. So this is current position, and this is very complicated one. Like there is a lot of things like so uh, this is the position. Black area is pretty big. Like let's say it's pretty a lot. Also white area is a lot, and here is super unclear what to do. And should we do something about Moyo? Should we just ignore it? And I think this Moyo is pretty big. I would already do something about it. And now, when you already have this decision to do something about Moyo, you need to think there is like two ways to fight against any Moyo. First one, which is a lot of people most of the time will ignore, is to just leave it. Or let's say not even leave it, just try to reduce it. Just try to limit it and try to increase your own territory by itself and see maybe it's enough. Who knows? You know, it's like it's possible that you don't even need to destroy Moyo. I would show you the basic idea how to make it, to reduce it, and also to build a Moyo for yourself, and how to decide is it really good idea or not. For example, what I would do, I see two corners, not corners, two edges of the Moyo. It would be from the area A or B. And then afterwards, I would just imagine the most simple sequence. Let's say I play like this, and something like this will happen. I don't know, maybe like this. And then I have some position. For sure, it will be not like this. I think most likely at some point white and black will not play so simple. But this is how the direction flow of the game will work after I would play one. So this is my logic. And if both, like if I'm happy as white, I can just continue like this, the most simple moves. Let's assume black also happy with his moves, and then now we will see what is the status. Mm, Is I'm happy with this result or not? For example, it's not even about the points. I think the most important are you are happy. If you are like happy, you think you are ahead, and so then you should just go for it. You solve the problem. Now, most likely top left territory is cash, but also white gets some influence, and white's position is not really like that bad. I would say it's up to you. And if you're happy, you can just easy solve the position like this. And if you are not happy, let's say this is also can be the situation. You make a reduction, you think in your head, is it enough for you or not? If not, then you need to think about the more, I would say, more about the invasions. Try to somehow think how to reduce. Like It's okay that black area is bigger because most likely you will have more cash if the game is even. So in this case, you need to think about invasions more. There would be some invasions, let's say, would be very easy invasions, would be if you just put a stone in the center. Basically, most likely it cannot die because this stone already have a lot of miais, I would say. Like you can play A, B, C, D. Overall, probably it will not die. And this is the one of the easiest way to invade, just to put some stone in the center and assume that this area would be enough to build more or less enough space or base. Like even for black, it's not so easy to kill this if black will try. I mean, step by step, black have to block, and overall you have already some shape that most likely allows you to be alive. I think this way white would be easily alive. This is easy invasion, not the most, not, I would say not the best, but it's pretty efficient and easy. So if you don't know what to do, this is another option. Overall, it's you see you are a bit giving maybe too much for black with this wall, but this is the easy solution. If we want to invade a bit more efficient and try to use all our stones, then we need to think about, like, we need to find some center moves, our center moves, and try to play around them. Basically, here there is a lot of center moves. Uh, for example, there is easy center moves that you can just use. I think in this case, let's say Atari. I cannot imagine black play elsewhere, so Atari is a center move. Also, some moves like this, where we are really trying to capture a stone at k16, if we will do, let's say, then group is alive, and I think white is super happy. Another center moves. So we have some center moves. Also here, maybe not only one center moves, maybe also this one is center in order if you don't answer, and we can capture the stone in a ladder. This is the easiest center moves, which is easy to find, and we need to know all our center moves and think how to combine them. One more center moves, which usually people missing in this situation cannot find directly. It would be attached to the lonely stone. For example, I will give you example. I attach to the stone, and then it's very unlikely that black would play another move elsewhere. This attach is the move that forcing black to answer somehow. We will see how. There's a lot of options, but usually you really want to answer this. And depends on how you would answer. Maybe you will have another, like even more center moves. And this one is kind of, how would you, I would say this is like a standard way when you reduce, you want to attach to see maybe you can get even more center moves. This kind of attach, I would say, is like, you know, when you build a shape, you need as more center moves as you can. Basically, in this case, when you make a shape, I like to call the center moves like a jokers. And you need this is the move that really helps you to create a jokers. So overall, what to do afterwards center moves, we can see. We will try to find some shape. Maybe we'll capture stones. Maybe something else will happen. And then another thing, uh, you thoroughly Atari is for sure center. So for example, if black would play Hane, you can even crosscut or play some moves like this that allows you to have at least more center moves afterwards. And when you play Hane on this move, we can play this or this. We have a lot of option to create even more center moves, and then our shape would be even stronger. Basically here, white and black is fighting. Black doesn't really want to give white a lot of center moves, and white is trying to get even more. basically jokers, yeah. And in this case, for black would be most likely the best answer would be to play solid. Then overall, you have way less, you give just way less possibilities for white. Yeah. And then white should think how to continue, basically. D12 over D10. Um, D12 over D10. Basically, I can try to explain why I use D12 over D10. It depends on each position, but here I have um, a lot of center moves around, which can help me to capture the stone at A. So goal here is white to play something around D12, and um, you know, you have a lot of jokers from one side and from the other, and if we see something like this will happen, then most likely you can get some double Atari or capture stone in a ladder, whatever. I think for white, white here can play super free. Overall, the goal is to build somewhere here a live group or group with a nice shape. And if, let's say, top will die, it's not a big deal. Like if something here you will give up, that's also not a big deal. Overall, your goal is to build somehow a live group. And here I think that if you have a lot of center moves, for black is really hard to react here. It's not so easy to answer, let's say on this move. Maybe the best you can do is to play something like this, and then overall our shape is already okay. We can still, like now we can try to even escape somehow. I don't know. Maybe something like this. And then already it looks decent. Yeah. Okay. And then here I will show what really happened in a game. Basically, in a game, something like this happened, and A was the move from the professional. This is a professional game, and white extended. Overall, I think if I would continue, I would just jump to just create. Like I already think that I get some moves. My shape in center is decent, and I think overall it's already pretty easy and decent result. In the game, white played even more, I would say, aggressive. White played like this, and this is the move that that gives a cut. But if you cut, overall white have a lot of again center moves, and the goal was to that black would cut, and now you will try to figure out what to do with all these center moves. What we can do here? Mm, for example, something like this, and try to build some shape. That doesn't really work. But if you would play something like here from before and then play something like this to just capture it, now this thing can work, I think. Now it looks pretty good. Let's say Atari, and then we can capture. So basically some combos like this can be working pretty well in a way that white has like a lot of possibilities, and then you can like you don't touch them until you see the combinations that everything is working. And for black it's pretty hard to resist. Overall, black should just answering here something like this, but that feels super sad, and white can easily build super nice shape. But it would be okay to just get some exchanges and then force to build a shape in the center somehow. Okay, was the one thing, how to build a shape in, let's say, one position. Let's move to the other position and talk a bit how to find these jokers, these extra center moves, what you can do in a way to make them overall like to see some moyo and to understand which center moves you can overall use. Okay, So next one. Here we have another position. Here is a huge moyo. Here is more clear position because white have way more cash. Only option for black is moyo. So in this case, let's say if what I would think would be that this moyo, this is the edge of the moyo, so I can play on the edge thoroughly somewhere on the moyo, play something like this. Most likely black would take it. This would be the first step. And then I think, I'm happy with this result or not. This would be the thing which I would consider the first. And then after I would play like this, I would decide, do I like will I play like this? If not, then of course we go with deep invasion. And then here the position is empty, so there is no center moves you can hope for. Only one thing which is you can hope is would be use one of the lonely stones, which we have four, to find to get some extra center moves afterwards, like jokers. And then I need to decide which one to use. So I will try to use all of them. Let's say I will use this one, this one, this one, and this one. I used four, and now I can see the difference that here these two moves, they are really hurting for outside territory a lot. For example, this 4 is hurting my moves there, 2 destroys my corner, maybe afterwards black can play R2 and destroy my corner and I lose endgame. So 1 and 3, this is the move that helps you to get like additional shape or some additional center moves, but overall they are painful to do. But the moves like 5, 7, they are super kind of they're losing nothing. If I continue like this and if I go with the same idea afterwards, 1, 3 doesn't really hurt. Maybe even that's a plus in some cases because now 11 would be more painful, for example, or more center. So that's why playing 1, 3 doesn't really hurt. And after this, I already have some ideas where I can get center moves. One thing is about, this one, if I would say A is like 95% center. It's pretty hard to ignore this one. Like, let's say black will try to cut you. I think this is only one option when it can be bad. You play 1, 2, then you try to live and you die. That would be only one way when one would be bad. Let's say there is other, which is move, which is have the similar purpose, would be this one, or from the other side would be, let's say this one, or I would say even this one. This is the move from also with a similar idea, but they are not as center as Q10. So for example, this kind of move, maybe now I can believe that black can enclose me and kill. And this one is a bit more risky. Let's say I would consider 1 if there would be the position like this and from one side moyo is open and then I don't really need to be scared. I'm kind of more like in a safe zone, so I don't need to play that direct to get center. But in this case, I'm afraid that I'm going to die, so I would try to play attach moves, which is more center. Yeah. So here we have like, let's say 1, 2, 3. So I would try to play one to see what will happen. This one or this one, I think it doesn't really matter which one of those two from which you start. It's up to you. And why I want to play this and this because they're connected, and maybe afterwards, if black would try to cut or if I will get a cross cut, overall I hope to connect my center moves and maybe build some shape, capture the stone, or yeah, force black to retreat. Yeah, basically, let's say we play like this. If we have honey, from doesn't matter from which side, I would try to get with another Hane. And then around that, try to really use my like my center moves. Like here, you get a possibility to capture the corner. If black is retreating once more, you have way more stones, and now I don't know. I would consider to go with another attach, and maybe there is a big chance you can manage to build a group there, or maybe not a group, maybe a core, but that might be enough because it's anyway was the territory or area where black really wanted to build something. Yeah, if black play the most severe move, usually the most severe move in this situation would be one of the extent, I don't know, A or B. Um, then I would go with the other one. Let's say black is also playing super severe, just like this. And now maybe this way, maybe now I have some ideas to use these stones in some way. Like this is two exchanges. I would most likely play the move. Like before I wanted to have the exchange like this. And it was okay because black would not play from the top. But now using these two stones, maybe I would consider to play something like this. And now playing 3 and like having 3 and 1 and maybe 9, now I can hope to enclose some box here and get some points. So this is the idea how I can use it. Basically, I get some exchanges, now I can play a bit more aggressive. If black play, let's say, Hane, or some kind of Hane, let's say here, here, this Hane, I can play something like this. And now I have a lot of center moves, and it's very difficult for black to do something. Like if black would cut, there is a double Atari. If, like overall, if black would connect, which would be the best move, I don't need to connect, it makes my shape heavy. I will just again play the moves like this. If black play 8, then I'm happy. I will just give Atari and jump again, and I think here white successfully limit the black moyo to the one side. And this looks already pretty decent. So this is how we were using these attaches in a way that like this is the combo how we usually play when the area is so empty and you don't know where to start. You look the empty stones, try to attach to them. Also, it's important, I would give you another hint. Just imagine where would be the black territory in the end, and imagine which exchanges not really hurt at all. For example, if you can see, if you anyway aiming to, this is black territory, you're aiming to give it more or less, then A and B doesn't really matter if you have it or not, because it's anyway black territory. So I think it's good to just start with this one. I mean, C's also have a similar idea. Yeah. Here, afterwards, with this one, I will try to like we learned some part already. I will give you some examples how to think with having these exchanges and something in a more complicated position. So this one is a bit more complicated position. Here is not really clear what to do. And overall, I think there is a lot of ideas what you can really think as white and it will be okay. Yeah, so one of those, I think I have, uh, I still a game not a review, so I will show you here. In review, I can draw. So this is the line. I think on OGS, when you make this, it's automatically AI is showing the correct moves. That's kind of sad. But I think logic was to find that move in the end. I mean, it's very nice when you can see the correct move, but I think when you get it logically, it's way more efficient. So here there is a line. So one of the option would be to play somewhere on the line, and then you cannot really be captured. black will get a lot of territory this way, and that would be okay. But if you're like happy as white, you know, this is more or less even position. There is like a professional players, and then yeah, you can just think. You can just think what to do. Like if you are happy, it's not really like again N9, similar idea about N9. Let's say N12 and 9, it's very similar. And you can also think about that just to see if it's like good or not. And if you're happy, basically in most of the cases you kind of limit the moyo and make it more easier. Yeah, about disable AU review, I kind of did it, but I need to did it on a all, you know, when I just how to say it, refresh the page, I need to do it again, and sometimes I just forgot, and yeah. But I know how to do it, just sometimes you forget about this thing. Um, one thing here which I want to show, would be the one thing. Another thing, let's say we try not to play from the center with an invasion, we try to build our own moyo, let's say, again, some simple idea, very similar, just to see how it will be. I'm happy with this result or not. Um, Again, if I would be happy as white, if I would build more, I would just go for it. In this case, I feel that black is building more. This is like really a lot. Here we built as black too much. If I count, it's like 15 on 9. Overall, when you play even more your game, if nothing is dying and you have more than 100 points, most likely you will win. So in this case, 9 on 15 is 135. And I think here black is really, like for sure winning. So I wouldn't really try to do much. Yeah, so I don't like this. Other option, try to deep invasion. We need to find lonely stones. Maybe a lonely stones, some shapes. There is one stone that is not really hurting. Like if we kind of see where would be black territory, basically this is 3 stones that we can try to attach and use them as place where we can get extra center moves, like yeah, and try to build a shape. This would be the plan. Yeah. Something like this. And afterwards, we can, so basically, if we have like this, we can now think which exchanges we can use. Overall, here there is a lot of exchanges. Like I would like to go with attach. B and C is the most normal one. B, C, D, E. Maybe I would go with some crazy F. It's also attach, and it gives us more center moves. And also we can try with the move as S9. And this S9, I know this is at the Suji, but you can easily play without it. You can just use another moves. That's like overall, you know, AI can live here with kind of each of these moves, I think. Only F is a bit strange. But C, B, D, E. Also, I would probably will not play C because I see I have DE in this corner, so I want to also play from this side. So I think if I would play, I would use most likely B. So my goal would be to start with D or E. Maybe let's go with this one. This would be the plan and see how it goes. Why the strongest response is here, then I would play this one. Usually the strongest response here is like this, and then try to build some base. And this is already looks like the shape that maybe can give you at least a core. Maybe on this core you can get extra move, and then somehow escape. And then it would be okay. Then you kind of manage to destroy the area a bit, and then it might be fine. Yeah. Um, so would be my plan. But here, this is the professional game. And professional, I mean, he was not so brave to invade. Overall, from my experience, um, AI invades like flawless. He invades, he can live in any moyo. And for me, already, it would be on edge. Do I want to invade or do I want to play some more safe move? Because invasion is always a risk. AI knows everything. He knows that he's alive. There is no point to kill it. It's most likely it can be you play something like this, and then AI would play one move, something like here, and then it's already think it's alive, and then he would play somewhere else. Completely possible it would play like this. And it's assumed that white on the right is already alive. It can be easily the case. But when you play, like when humans play, usually there is no such confidence. We don't know this information. This group is dead or alive instantly. And there is a huge risk, even if you play correctly, that you can die. So here the professional player tried to play some compromise way, and he play E. His goal was to get a crosscut here, then black would play here, and then now he went with a simple exchange territory mode. Basically, he went something like this, but these exchanges in the corner give him an option to live in a corner afterwards. So this is kind of a compromise. You try to use it, and then afterwards, like black still will get a moyo, but now you can build 20 points in a corner extra. So you don't know if you get it. Maybe if not, you will get another big move. So at least you make 10 points extra. I think this is still pretty good for black, and maybe this plan is a bit slack, but I think professional players just try to do that. I feel like black still won this game, but this is like a good idea how to think. And sometimes, I mean, you know, position can be different, but you can get some exchanges that give you some points. You know, you can maybe have a good end game afterwards. Then it can work. Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot about this. I will do it about how to disable a review in all games, but not now. Now it's a bit difficult. Yeah. So this is one. Now let's move to a bit more difficult position. I will try to check it in all my games. Do I have it? I think no. Here I have it. So I just in advance turn off AI in all games. Hints is nice, but yeah, I think overall I prefer, you know, I prefer to move which I understand than to play instead of AI moves very often, because you can play one move, like one AI move, but you don't know the follow-up, and then you don't understand the idea very often. It would be very useless. Yeah. So this is another position, and here the biggest area, like black has way more cash, 4 corners, and white has a huge area. Well, let's say it's not huge, let's say just huge. In this case, black is kind of, if black want to think of how to destroy it, here there is no lonely stones which you can use. So here there is 3 stones, 1, 2, 3. But you need to be really careful about using each of them. For example, if you play something like this, there is a big chance that you even, like maybe you can manage to live, but your white is getting stones outside, and there is a risk that these stones might die. Maybe not, I don't know. But the risk is like you already with this exchange giving something for white, and in this case it's a bit easier to play as white because white getting some like decent shape on the bottom while you are trying to make a nice shape. So in this case, I wouldn't touch these three stones directly. Also, there is another thing which is might be a problem is this group, which is not completely alive. It's not really, let's say, in danger, but there is some problems. For example, if you will run some group here, then white can split you into two, and then there would be problems. So here, when you have one group, very often the good tactic would be just to defend the group at the moment, and then try to go with the other things a bit like with the moyo a bit later. For example, we defend the group somehow. Now it's completely connected or very strong. Even if white enclose the area somehow, it's not so easy. Now attaches might be okay because the group is stronger, and now we can, like, even if, let's say, white will build a wall and our group is there stronger, I think that wall would be not really that important. So in this case, this would be a good idea how to think just to make your group stronger, and then try to see what white would do, and then try whatever, like when all your groups are alive and pretty strong, you can do basically whatever in this game. Like the cache is for sure clear. Now one thing what you need to do is just basically try to, with some attaches, destroy the moyo. I don't know, you can play here, maybe you can play the safe way like this, try to limit it and get some points. But I think attaches are pretty good in a way that they are the most efficient, and yeah, you are losing something from shape wise, but white have so many moves outside, like here locally white have so many moves that even like when you attach you will make your opponent way stronger. Maybe you will get something but you pay that your opponent will be stronger, but in this area it doesn't really matter at all. So I think in this case it's okay just to attach and try to live. And yeah, in a game, Black tried to play like this, and this was the move that basically just to get, like, you know, this is the peep. Most likely, it's a center. At least Black is hoping for that. Now you have another stone. Maybe now you can try to use that stone somehow. Play something like this. Play some shape, and if like white will defend, try to build some again some box where you can hope to get to ice. So this is the plan what black has, and basically white played here just try to destroy the option, and black just using that stone try to escape. And yeah, here white kind of try to reinforce this cut in center, which is makes a lot of sense. And at this point black made a big mistake. Black should just jump with the weak group and try to kind of already, you know, this stone is very difficult to attack, and black is strong, so I think black already reduced the moyo and it becomes way smaller. But here black decided to play a bit more aggressive, and now white cut two groups, and afterwards it was really a really tough game for black. So this is how it can happen, that when you're playing a bit more aggressive and you have a weak group, now it's really difficult because you need to play from two sides, and in few moves basically black is trying to live. Now the other group becomes weaker and weaker. In the end, this group, this big group, like this one lived, but this one had a core, and because of that black just lost. So that's a risk, and very often it's way better to just, let's say, play from this side to kind of reinforce first and then think what to do with moyo. Yeah. Okay. With this one, we can also um, kind of stop and move to the next one. Next one is the thinking about moyo from perspective of moyo player. Very often you can see that the best move to moyo, to build moyo, usually to make it bigger. For example, you play A or B as black and try to really make it bigger. For example, I mean, the dream would be to get it like this, enclose, and then I don't know how many points it is, but I assume that we have 19 lines by 4, and there's some lines by 15, and then also it feels like it's close to 200, maybe not 200, 170 around for black. For the victory you need 100, most likely you are winning like this. But this is like too optimistic way of thinking, because the moyo is too big, no one is like, white is not going to answer your moves. White will also do something about that. For example, white would play something like this, and then afterwards maybe you cannot kill, and maybe overall would be too risky strategy. And in this case, I think it's a good idea to play a bit more safe and try to defend the area which is already enough. For example, something like this. Here I would recommend you to use like some like ogemas or daigemas. This is the most natural shape. I think also would be something like here would be also okay. It depends. I mean, usually it's fine. One of these, try to make it like, try to enclose it like this, because even 150 would be enough to win. And then overall for white would be way more difficult situation to destroy this if you're playing safe move. So there is two ways how black can develop the moyo. One is to defend. The second thing is to try to make it bigger. So A and B, we try to make it bigger when we think that our moyo is not enough. And the second one, when we think that our moyo is like really enough, and what to do, we will try to like when it's enough, we just try to defend it, and afterwards think like just start to play endgame basically. Yeah. So here black is trying to play here. White, most likely the correct way for white would be just try to improve, or try to destroy the moyo and try to invade. And this way we will have a difficult fight. Maybe black would try to defend the moyo, white will invade. White decided to completely ignore this, and black defend the moyo one more time. And basically afterwards the game becomes pretty close. Black defends the moyo, but white also get some moves. White find a very nice Tesuji on the top to kind of get some center moves. Like in the end of the sequence, white gets two moves extra, which like you see, you try to use some jokers that's about the moyo, try to find a way how to solve it, get few center moves, which is already great. Sometimes you make few moves inside, you don't lose anything from this sequence. White didn't lose anything, but white get extra two moves. And after this, where there is a big chance that there is no invasion in a corner, for example. If white would try, you would try to kill it. And this way, white kind of fight back again this moyo. Then black try also the same strategy. The logic is we try to invade, get some maybe stones, maybe we will die with that, but we will get something. And basically that's what black get. Black get these two stones. And then we have a big moyo, and it's almost enclosed here. But there is a super nice Tesuji in order to really destroy the line. It would be the crosscut. Because when we crosscut, we have Ataris from both sides. It would be A and B and C and D. And overall, let's say you capture the Ponuki, but I think it doesn't matter, because at some point, it doesn't matter how many Ponukis you capture, it was your cash. And white just destroy the cache. And it's end of the game. Most likely you don't do this in the beginning because you don't give ponukis in the beginning of the game. But in end game, it's a wall. It's very hard to use this ponuki. By cache, it's not so much. But if you can just break the line like this, it would be way more important. So in this case, this is the Tsuji that very often is pretty good to remember if you see such a huge moyo. Again, if you will give more, if you give, let's say, Ponuki, that's sad, but if the price for that would be destroying the moyo, or like here, you see it's pretty difficult. Well, this one, maybe this way. Yeah. Like if you can just go through the moyo and destroy it, this Ponuki is not as important this way. So that might be the case, and sometimes you can think about this combo. Uh, usually it's better to do it when the moyo is enclosed from all sides, because anyway, Ponuki is a huge price that you will give something really expensive. So you need to be sure that also black invest in this moyo a lot, and then you are destroying it, and then white is kind of like, or then you are happy with the result. Yeah. Mm, yeah, about Chochikun and planting bombs in the open territory. Usually everyone can do that if you have a lot of time. I think this kind of sequences, for example, like here, this is pretty difficult sequences to have in like to make it but when you have a lot of time you can read this, and usually this is what strong players mainly reading something in the territory of your opponent, because other moves are kind of clear, but that area is kind of stable for a long time, so you can consider something to find a way to get something extra, some good endgame, and maybe afterwards it's enough. Who knows? And that's the thinking that maybe it gives you an edge. Yeah, but I think it's really important. One more thing I want to show. This is also how AI playing with the moyos. For example, here, white try to play here, and there is no good move for black. And overall, what to do for black? We need to try to attack one and get something. Black try to play on the left. And then, like, white just jump inside. And this is the AI. This is the best moves with AI if we go. But the sequence doesn't really make any logic from point of view like people play. I think I would never play like this. This is like too much. And very often, that's why computer is pretty good in solving this kind of situation, because he's very simply makes Tenuki. He knows that right is bigger than left. And very often, it would be also the cases in some way that also white would play 3 and 3 would be bigger than right. You never know this. And here a lot of things you do by intuition. And then this is another thing that usually when you have this moyo, the game is always complicated. Doesn't matter if you're like good, like strong, or even for me, I think if I play against person who play moyo, the game is very complicated. Like there is one mistake can decide the game. And that's the thing that you need to remember. If you see the moyo, the game would be always complicated. So if you just destroy it when like in Fuseki or something, or when there is no moyo at all, then maybe the game would be more simple, and that's like the way you like to play. People play. Yeah, I don't know. Human play? Human? Hard to say. What is correct? So, the next one would be the last problem. This is the problem when, um, like here is the situation, and do it like this. Yeah, here is the situation, and we need to do something about this area. And this is not an easy one. Like, first of all, area is almost enclosed. And here there is a lot of options what to do. If we just give it, let's say we make it simple, try to reduce a bit. I don't know, let's try to reduce it like this, just to see how big it is. It would be 10, 11, almost on 12. So it would be 7 on 12, 70, 85. I think 85 is pretty a lot still. White doesn't have that much. I mean, it's not more than 100, but we still have a wall. And you know, 100 is for sure enough. Sometimes it's 70 is also enough. So I wouldn't go with the 100. I know that it just 100 people will try to find a 100, but in reality, sometimes you win with 70. You don't need to have 100. And I think this is the game where also white doesn't have so much. So I would just see that this is probably too much to play from from reduction. So most likely we have to invade and think what to do. Now we need to think about some center moves or like some center moves that we can get. First center moves that is like clearly is there is would be A and B. I mean black have to answer that. But in this case, this is, you know, you can play 1-3, but afterwards maybe these stones will use it and maybe even try to live inside, and that's might be a problem. So if we try to invade, most likely we don't want to use 1 in 3. First of all, like sometimes we can use 1 in 3, but not now. We can use it like with the last move that gives us life. Then it's okay. But from the beginning, we never use it because even now if we will try to leave and afterwards black would play 6 to get this area, these exchanges are so bad that let's say you live here, but because of these exchanges black can live on the bottom, then it doesn't really make any sense. So you can play 1-3 when you really need it. Maybe the group is dying or group is running, like let's say you create a group, it's running here and with A it's alive, then it's okay, then it would be efficient, it's big group, then you can pay some extra price. That would be fine. Yeah. Another thing which we can use is this shimari. So we can attach to some stones. For example, there is 2 stones. We can attach to one of those. Options are different. We can play C, and our goal would be just to live in the corner. Like, let's say, play something like this, and then try to play from outside like we did before. Now we have Ko in a corner. So it would be a bit better result than before, like 10 points better. If we're happy with this, we can go for that. I think this way it would be probably okay. I'm not really sure. I rather would invade, but maybe this would be also okay. I think this would be close to even. Yeah. The other thing would be to try to live and build a big group. I would choose one of these 2 stones, like stone A or B. Here I would rather choose stone at A because there is way more space. And I would try to play, I don't know, something like this, I guess. This is a Tesuji that like or gives me a big corner. Let's say like this. And this is like amazing already. Or if black would play from other side, now I have some kind of more center moves. It would be something like this. This is the usual also strategy. So I would play here, or this would be one, or this would be the second one. So one of these 2. Basically, let's say B and C. B would be almost same as C, but I think C is like technically a bit more correct. And then in this case, something like this. This looks center. Maybe also this one. This is also very often center because we will have a lot. Maybe I would build even a core and then try to use this core to destroy the moyo. This would be a plan. Maybe first here. I'm also not sure if this one is center. If it's only points, if it would be like this, then it's amazing. It's some points, but if I'm already know that I'm alive with the top, then it's okay. Right now I wouldn't use it. Maybe I would just play like this. I think this way I would play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I would play with p17 with getting extra stone, like this way. This way I guess is better. But yeah, something like this. This way, or maybe again Tiger Mouse. This would be the combo that I would use in order to make 2 eyes. And then see how it goes. This is risky. Like very often if you play like this, you see the group doesn't have 2 eyes and you need to hope that afterwards somewhere you will have enough space to make 2 eyes. If you're not sure about it, you can still play some moves like some combo like here and then play some Hane in order to give up Ponuki and destroy the line. In this case, it's not really that early. So the Ponuki is kind of not that useless because maybe it can really help to make these 2 stones leave, and then in the end it would cost you some points. So that's why I think this might be too much, but if you don't know what to do at all with the Moyo, this is still way better than just leaving it. So you can even use it now, and yeah. About O16, it's also okayish, but why I feel like N16 or is better, I'm a bit afraid that would be not enough space to live in center. You are enclosed and it might be fine, but usually in this case, I would when I would consider this, let's say we don't have this move. Let's say black play. Let's say now black play here. Now O16 looks good. Maybe now we can get some exchanges and again try to play on the edge and try to use that stone. Then I think would be fine to play something like this. But when you're enclosed already, it's a bit risky. So that's why I want to try to stay on the side where I feel like I have more chances. But in fact, this move also can work. Like it still might be okay if you play something like this, and then try to build some, I don't know, this, and try to leave. It can help. Like this 1-3 can help. You have 2 attaches. You can try something. It might work. Just I feel that on the side would be a bit easier. Q16. Q16 same idea. Just you most likely like Q16 is good. And let's say I will put it like this. Q16 and R15 both are good if you plan to build a group on the right. As far if you want to go to the center, I would start maybe with C16. Q16 is a bit on the right, and yeah, but I think the biggest empty area is on the top, so I would go with that one. But yeah, it's very similar, and then it depends where you really want to where you really want to build an eye. Here, on top there is 6 lines, on the right there is 4 lines, and also, this one overall I can kind of connect, but I'm always afraid that this kind of move like 2 would also hurt my territory. So I don't like anyway building this group here, because I feel like even if I would be successful and I would live with the group, this would be still bad because of the bad exchanges I have to do. And that's why I really don't want to touch this area at all. I would like to go with the top where I not hurting nothing at all at the moment. Yeah, and now if most likely I would leave, black will not get anything this way. So, well, we'll get something, but not like, it would be not like you pay too much, even though you leave and still the position is bad. I think in that case, if you live on the top position would be okay. Yeah, that was kind of all. I hoped you like it. Maybe you have some questions overall. Cool, cool that people like it. Yeah. Yeah, so welcome. Hope to see you in Toulouse. I hope it would be pretty nice Go Congress. I was only once in Go Congress in France in 2010 in Bordeaux. It was pretty good. So yeah, hope to see you there. Yeah, and uh, yeah, hope you also learn something. Yeah, and that's all. Have a nice evening, and yeah, see you next time. Bye.